Tonight on Q2, the thin line between success and failure.
It's still a very challenging market.
Only way to combat that is to make good food.
We look into recent restaurant closures and what could make the industry difficult to navigate. Plus, the Montana legislature looks to say cheers.
A lot of the grocery stores in Montana see this as just a no-brainer.
Beer and wine may soon be available via DoorDash delivery. We'll have those details. And scammed out of thousands.
It can happen to all of us. This wasn't a deliberate thing. It was just the right time.
A Billings restaurant victimized by DoorDash. Now they're eyeing the community's help. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Thursday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. Our top story tonight, the Yellowstone County Commissioners, in an unprecedented move, are offering the use of Metro Park to detain illegal immigrants caught in the region. The decision coming after President Donald Trump declared a national emergency at the southern border and sent orders to increase deportations. In a letter to all four of Montana's congressional delegation, Commission Chair Mark Morse says the commissioners want to help, and Metro Park and its close proximity to the airport could be a location that would work. In that letter, he says the Yellowstone County Detention Facility is over capacity and likely could not handle a large increase of inmates, nor could other jails in the area. He says some of Metro Park, which is currently 189 acres with an expo center and pavilion, could be repurposed to house inmates. In recent years, the county has spent millions to upgrade the facility and is capable of being used in cases of natural disaster. Morse admits he has no idea if this is feasible or something that would be allowed at the event center, but spoke on his decision to offer up Metro Park and why he could see it working.
We offer a solution to the federal government, and they come in here and arrest a bunch of people under their authority. That will make Billings a better place. That will help us with our crime problem here. If the full board of county commissioners decided to negotiate with the government, we obviously would have to tell them it's just a big open space. They would have to configure it for however they want to use it.
Morse tells MTN News he spoke with the other two commissioners, John Ostlund and Mike Waters, before drafting the letter himself. Montana Representative Ryan Zinke certainly seems on board with the idea, saying on social media, quote, "Round them up, send them home." Montana stands ready to execute the president's directive and remove all the criminal illegal aliens from our communities and send them back home to their countries of origin. I applaud Yellowstone County Commissioners for their creative solution to help with the effort. Earlier today, a federal judge in Seattle temporarily blocked President Trump's executive order that seeks to eliminate birthright citizenship. The judge calling the president's order blatantly unconstitutional. The order was swiftly challenged by 22 states as well as advocacy groups who say it violates the 14th Amendment. Trump told reporters that his administration will appeal. Surviving as a restaurant has always been hard, with the National Restaurant Association estimating 1 in 3 not making it through their first year. In Billings, we've seen a lot of successful restaurants, but recently several long-term ones, highlighted by Bin 119 and Wild Ginger, have been forced to shut their doors. As you can see, that has been a trend this last year, with a dozen or more restaurants having to close across the Magic City. Tonight, our David J. looks into the closures and how others are able to remain successful.
The restaurant business is always challenging. By all means, close down Uber Brew in downtown Billings. Everything's out here now in the West End. Madhouse on Grand Avenue also had to make some changes to stay profitable.
The Madhouse Gastropub is now the Madhouse Bar and Grill.
If you don't have ownership that has capital to spend, it's very hard to make it through a couple years. That's the general basic. You're going to hear that across the board answer.
Nick Southwick is the chef and GM for Madhouse, which opened in May of 2023. In June of 2024, it closed for 6 weeks, and Southwick helped it reopen in August of last year.
They were hoping for 10 or 11% profit on the end. You're hoping for 10 or 11. So that means if you have a 4% error on your food cost and maybe a 5% error on your beverage for the week, there goes everything.
Southwick has worked as a chef in San Francisco, Las Vegas, and Colorado Springs, and he knows what it takes to be successful in the restaurant business.
Perseverance and and consistent quality. Those are the two things you need, and then all the rest can be figured out in the wash.
How much fun is that to try to match up the beer?
It's actually the funnest part of my job.
By all means, executive chef Damien Beartusk works on a special fish and chip sauce to go with the introduction of a new beer.
These are people that are trying to create value and bring people together.
Chandler Griffin is the president and CEO of By All Means and admires the creativity of the chefs. Griffin teamed up with Mark Hastings at Uber Brew, and they had to close that downtown restaurant.
The biggest disruption we have is customer destabilization. Like, people working from home changed the entire lunch model. 30 to 40% of the restaurant business was probably in your lunch that's potentially gone.
Griffin says that all started with COVID. According to the Downtown Billings Association, the number of people downtown at noon has decreased since 2019.
There isn't one reason why we're seeing some restaurant closures. I would just say, the restaurant business is a tough business.
I don't see anything different about today than I did 30 years ago.
I praise our young entrepreneurs for getting into it. Some of the bravest people I've ever met in my life.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
The James Beard Awards semifinalists have been announced, and as always, Montana is well represented. That award is considered to be among the nation's most prestigious honor for restaurants, bars, and chefs. And this year, 4 Montana chefs are up for Best Chef in the Mountain Area, including Billings' own Nick Steen-Gollings from Walker's. Several other bars and restaurants across the state are also vying for awards. This marks the 35th year of that event. Buying beer and wine in Montana may soon become easier. That's because Montana lawmakers are looking to pass House Bill 211, which would allow delivery of those products from services like DoorDash. It's something that is currently done in nearly 40 other states, but that doesn't mean there isn't some risk involved. Tonight, our Haley Monaco learns the motivation behind the legislation and why they say it will be safe.
These days, I can order dinner, makeup, dog food, and even my weekly groceries, all from the comfort of my own home, using apps like DoorDash. But here in Montana, I can't get something like this delivered to my door, but a new bill could soon change that.
I'd go DoorDash in the evening time. It was a good job.
Drivers for companies like DoorDash and Uber could soon be delivering a six-pack straight to your door.
Well, I think it's a good idea.
It's definitely got a novelty to it, as long as it's done correctly, I suppose.
State Representative Katie Zolnikov is sponsoring House Bill 211. If it passes, it would only allow delivery from businesses with an off-premise alcohol sales license. That means grocery and convenience stores, not restaurants.
This bill has been in the works for probably 3 years at this point.
From 2022 to 2024, grocery delivery services increased by 56% in the U.S. Zolnikov says beer and wine delivery is already legal in over 30 states, and that it only makes sense to allow it in the Treasure State.
I think a lot of the grocery stores in Montana see this as just a no-brainer of, it's worked in other states. It's proven that it's safe. There's robust age identification. So it's just kind of getting up with the times.
The delivery driver would have to be 21 or older, would need a license to deliver alcohol, and would carry an ID scanner to check the recipient is also of age.
If you're going to the gas station and you've ever got your ID scanned, it's technology very similar to that, but it's portable.
A driver won't deliver to a college campus, a public space, or to someone visibly intoxicated.
You're not going to be able to get like a mixed drink cocktail delivered into your hand to drink.
Just prepackaged beer and wine with the click of a button. More opportunities for drivers.
I would definitely probably want to work the weekends if I wanted to make more money during those hours.
And more sales for stores.
I hope that this goes well for everybody.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Popular Billings restaurant Cjun Fatties is no stranger to helping out in the community, but now the business itself is in need of the community's help as thousands of dollars were drained from their accounts through an elaborate DoorDash scam. Our Isabel Spartz takes us inside that scam and tells us how the restaurant hopes to recover.
Billings restaurant Cjun Fatties has been a favorite for both Louise and Jim Alexander for several years.
Just get a hankering for some Cajun food every now and then, and this is authentic. This is good.
An atmosphere they say owner Ashley Robichaud has created to feel like a warm home.
They're friendly here, and Ashley is really a sweet person. She cares a lot about people.
But now it's Robichaud who needs help. The restaurant is the latest victim of an elaborate scam.
It was a perfect storm. right fit at the right time.
According to Robichaux, their DoorDash iPad had been experiencing issues, and they eventually received a call for technical help.
Because it was down, I had no reason to question it, and they knew enough information. So I give them whatever whatever they were asking for.
Scammers posing as the company was able to get personal information and change account passwords for most of what the restaurant has. And before Robichaux found anything wrong, she had already lost thousands.
You're violated on all these levels that you just, I'm a trusting person, and you just kind of don't expect it.
DoorDash accounts for 40% of their business, and after recent hardships of losing their location on Grand, it hasn't been easy.
We've been doing this since 2012. It's never been an easy thing. We're like any other small business that's just trying to, find your place in the world and hopefully make enough money and to grow.
The restaurant will do pay what you can meal benefits for veterans 4 times a year. But on Monday, whatever the community can give will go to help the restaurant they love, one that has given back so many times.
It's a great thing. I really do.
They really do.
And I think that we as a community need to support that.
Our community, our family that we've created here is amazing. I have been in tears all day from the support. I'm thankful. I am definitely grateful that we live here.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Good Thursday evening. Taking a look at our satellite and radar composite. We already have a cold front advancing in far northern Montana. Light snow falling mainly over northeastern Montana, over Fort Peck. There's been a little bit around Carter County in southeastern Montana too, but most starting to move into South Dakota. Also some more areas of snow as we head further to the west along the High Line, mostly between Havre and Great Falls. Additional light snow between Kalispell and Missoula. Nothing very heavy, and a lot of it's not even hitting the ground just yet. For the Magic City today, temperatures are fairly seasonable. Started the day at 18 degrees, which is where we're supposed to be on this 23rd day of January. But with all the clouds, and especially that wind, it wasn't very warm. Had a high of 32. We have more snow. I'll have your complete 7-day forecast coming up.
Billings Mayor Bill Cole has selected T.J. Rogers as his recommendation to fill the City Council Ward 3 vacancy. Rogers is the operations and house manager for Love and Sunshine Ministries, a nonprofit providing housing and services to the homeless, pregnant women, and also mothers here in Billings. Rogers, who was selected among 13 candidates, also has experience as a freelance journalist and volunteer with the Billings Young Marines. If approved, she'll replace Denise Joy, who was appointed by the Yellowstone County Commissioners to serve in the Montana House of Representatives. She would serve the remaining 11 months on Joy's 4-year term through the end of this year. City Council will vote to approve or deny Rogers on Monday, January 27th.